What's going on, guys? This is Forward Sports Media. This is episode 28 of the Forward Sports Podcast. My name is Thomas Hampton.
My name is Trey Foshi, and we've got a quick little episode for you guys. We're going to recap Jonesboro that we just got finished watching.
We're literally recording this moments after it ends.
So we're getting you the latest and greatest. So we'll go over that, and then we'll jump straight into one of our favorite events of the year, Music City Open. We will be there this year, and we've got some exciting things to talk about there. We'll make some picks for Music City, and then we're going to roast the DGN.
Yeah, so Jonesboro Open just finished up. Actually, kind of wild ending. I would say probably one of the best lead cards that we've had of the entire season thus far.
Right. But for a long time, the chase card really stole the show, particularly Ben Calloway.
Yeah.
Ben Calloway, he's kind of fallen in the shadow of Team Discraft a little bit, gets demoted to Team Ledgestone in 2023.
Yeah.
He plays this event very well every year.
Yeah.
And came out and started super strong, and I think going into hole 15 had a 2-stroke lead.
Yeah. Which, again, you've got the guys that are probably at that point maybe a hole and a half behind. I don't know the exact.
At that point, it was pretty close to a hole behind.
But
even so, 2-stroke lead is exciting, and it seems like it's pretty comfortable as long as you don't make big mistakes.
Which, unfortunately, Ben Calloway going into hole 18, relatively tough par 3, one that you can definitely lay up on, take a par if you want to, drop zone hole no matter where you go out of bounds, and he tries to go for the glory and really tries to pump it out there. Unfortunately, leaves it far too straight in his shot that's going to the right-hand side. Trying to play a hyzer, plays it straight into the water, goes to the drop zone, and instead of finishing a 24 under par, if he parred the hole, really was trying to get to 25, give himself a secure, okay, somebody's going to need a birdie out to follow me, ends up 23 under par. And then Calvin Heimberg and Anthony Barella go into hole 18, both at 23 under par.
Correct. And then we did mention that lead card, which also included Simon Lizotte and Isaac Robinson. Talk about a star-studded cast. Yeah. I mean, those are 4 players that, like, that's a lot of people's dream card right there.
Yeah. Now,
Isaac and Simon, Isaac especially, had a rough day on the putting green,
yeah,
which is very uncharacteristic for what we know.
Right.
For Isaac to be on lead cards. He is a putting genius most of the time. He had a bad day today. He fell out of contention. Simon had some early putting woes as well.
Right.
He had a tweaked back, and so he was also not throwing like full power.
Right.
And so we didn't really, that was unfortunate for him. He still played great, finished.
He said he was going to play the final round. He knew that his back was hurting, and he's still in iffy whether or not he'll play the Music City Open this weekend. We'll see if that actually pans out. I'm assuming he'll be there at the very least.
Absolutely.
Being the reigning champion of the Music City Open.
Exactly. He wants to defend his title. But he did wind up finishing, I think, in solo 5th for the event. So he still finished okay, but it really did come down to Anthony Barella, Calvin Heimberg, final hole. You guys know it. It's a scenic hole, 495-foot downhill par 3.
Right. Now, this didn't historically play hole 18.
It was, I don't remember which hole it was prior.
They've moved the course a little bit to where, like, our classic 450-foot downhill log hole, I believe that Casey White got the birdie on from way out with a tilt. Historically, is now the hole 1. You don't have the classic, winding hills up and down leading to an uphill shot that Calvin Heimberg won on, was it last year?
No, that
was 2 years ago over Paul Macbeth.
Yes, it was 2 seasons ago.
That no longer was hole number 1, but they go into I think 450-foot downhill with the water probably, it's probably 30 to 35 feet short of the basket.
And to the right.
Yeah, and so that's all out of bounds. There's actually a historic shot of Paul Macbeth hitting one of the advertising sections right below it and going out of bounds, which that hole plays no matter where you go out of bounds. You play from the drop zone, which is unfortunate when you hit that and then go out of bounds and have to play way back from where your disc most recently was.
Exactly. So we come in and it's Barella and Heimberg. Heimberg, who was so consistent in 2023, comes into 2024 a little bit injured. He's not throwing the forehand at all, but he's in contention right here, tied with Barella. Barella's been the top dog of 2024.
Right.
and he comes up first and throws a fantastic shot, makes the island.
Yep.
He's
probably 30 feet.
30 to 40 feet, somewhere in that range. Just like, I'd say just outside circle one.
Very much so can birdie the hole if he needs to.
And then Calvin steps up, tries to throw a similar shot. He does the opposite of Callaway and comes too far inside.
Right.
Hits a tree and lands in the OB that is in front of the island.
Yeah, just short of reaching the basket.
So you've got an option to lay up and go for your par, or you push for the basket. When Calvin sees, okay, Barella made the island, I've got to go for it too.
So at this point, Calvin has to go for it from the drop zone. Unfortunately, doesn't hit it.
And then at that point, Barella is able to lay up for the win and the par. And so now Barella winning 3 of the first 5 events. I mean, he is undisputed number 1 player in the world right now.
It's insane. Like, we obviously, this just happened. We haven't run a new power rankings, but we were saying that Barella honestly earns the number 1 and number 2 spot on that power ranking list. He's absolutely dominating the season in a way that's even more than what Calvin was doing last season at this point in the season.
This is more reminiscent of like a 2016 Paul McBeth.
Right.
Where Paul, and Gannon is kind of the Ricky Wysocki of that time, but Paul is just dominating, winning so many events. And Ricky, comes in every once in a while, but he's always right around.
Yeah.
But Barella is absolutely dominant right now, and he's coming from behind and winning. He's holding on to leads. I think I said this after the Chess.com Invitational. This is a scary time to be any other disc golfer than Anthony Barella, because we've been saying it. As soon as Barella figures out how to win, I mean, the floodgates open up.
Right.
And this is what we expected.
He gained the confidence that he needs. He's taken a couple down this season, and it was time to get a third. So, absolutely insane finish. Really fun disc golf to watch. We had several of us right here watching it, and so I couldn't have asked for a better round 3 to watch.
It was a really entertaining round. We'll quickly go on the FPO side.
I mean, it was a dominant.
There's not really much to say. Tatar absolutely dominated, I believe. I don't even know who else finished on the podium. I think they were 8 to 10 strokes behind.
Right. Well, I believe you had Holland Handley that may have been second place, but it was by that were both. But it was by more than 8 strokes. And so after 2 rounds, Kristen actually threw 11 under round 1, I believe, shooting 1040, which is insane. Round 2 shoots 1009, shooting just a few. No, she was 8 under par. The second round, it was 10 and then 8, because she was 18 under par after 2 rounds and then proceeds to shoot like a 4 or 6 under par. Maybe it was a little more than that.
I think it was a 4 under par.
But also it was a lot windier today, and so that still played good enough to keep her over 1,000 rated for the tournament, which is big because Kristen is on the verge of being the first female to hit over 1,000 rated.
And we have bashed ratings on this podcast many times, but to say that you're the first player in FPO history to reach 1,000 rated,
that's big.
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Paige got close, but never did it.
Right.
Kristen's going to do it. It's a matter of when.
As long as she holds it up at the Music City Open, I don't think there's an event between that and the end of April at that point. There might be.
Champions Cup will come up in there at some point.
We'll see.
But whenever they do the next ratings update, I will be very surprised to not see Kristen Tatar in that 4-digit category.
All that to say, leading into the event, we posted our picks. Trey was ahead 25 points on the season to 18 points versus me. Again, we play a person to win the event, a person that we think will finish on the podium, and then somebody outside of a certain range that will finish inside the top 10 or 5, depending MPO versus FPO. So Trey was leading by 7 points going into the event. Trey, unfortunately, did not get a single point.
Goose egg for Trey.
You had Holland Handley to win the event. You had Owen Scoggins to place, and then you picked Anakin Steen, who unfortunately was not on the roster, and we didn't realize that one.
Mistake on my part.
And then you had Calvin to win, who almost took it down on that last hole, but fell just short to Anthony Barella. You had Kyle Klein to place. He did not. And then
Gavin Rathbun to Forge.
Unfortunately did not.
He had 2 pretty rough rounds and then finished really great round 3. So put it together next time, Gavin.
On my side, I picked Gannon Burr to win. He unfortunately just didn't play as well as he needed to. He played a pretty good round.
He finished tied for 7th.
Missed a lot of putts that left him on the outside. I picked Anthony Barella to place. He took the win. That was 5 points for me.
Nice safe points there.
My Jesse Neiman pick, he finished in like 80th or something like that. Maybe it was 60th.
It was not his day.
Not a top 10. And then on the FPO side, I picked Missy Gannon. No, I picked Jennifer Allen to win. Did not. I picked Kristen Tatar to place. That was an additional 5 points. And I picked Licky Lorenzen, Lucky as they call her, to finish in the top 5. Did happen, and so I got a total of 13 points. Puts me up to 31 overall, Trey 25.
So it's pretty close. So I will get the first pick for the Music City Open, which we'll go ahead and jump in right there. So,
Trey, are you going to take MPO or FPO first?
Oh, I will go MPO first. And I'm going to go ahead and pick Anthony Barella to place.
Anthony Barella to place.
To get some safe points there.
And then I pick Calvin Heimberg to win.
Okay.
And then for my placement pick, I'll take Gannon Burr.
That makes a lot of sense. So for my winner, I'm taking the Tennessee Tornado, the Limestone Laser. Chris freaking Dickerson is going to win in his state of Tennessee. So I got Chris Dickerson winning. And then my Forge pick, I'm going with one of my favorite players on tour, one of my good friend of the podcast, Eric Oakley. He's going to be my Forge pick.
Going to finish in the top 10, baby. I'd love to see.
Oh,
it was so fun to watch. Just good dude. Has fun on the course. It should be a good time.
Absolutely.
For my Forge pick, I'm going to go with our 2023 DDO champion, Parker Welk.
Ooh.
I'm going to enjoy that.
Yeah.
And then on the FPO side, I'm going to take last year's Music City Open champion, Kristen Tatar,
to
win. Though recently, we've been picking people that we think are likely to even win the event as the placement to try to secure some points. Well, a little more freedom there.
Well, I think that's what we did here as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Owen Scoggins to place.
Who you took this last event. We'll see if she can pull it back.
Yeah, I think she will.
Yeah.
I trust her to get back on that podium. And then I'm going to make what might seem like a bold prediction to some people, but this player has been extremely consistent all year, and she's slowly moved up the rankings in every tournament. I'm taking Rebecca Cox to take down the Music City Open.
She played really good. She was either on lead or chase card last event. She played very good. It was very fun to follow and watch.
And then finished 6th place here at Jonesboro. I think she's going to make the jump. I think she's going to grab a win in Nashville.
There we go. For my placement, I picked Kristen to win. I'm going to pick Holland Handley to place.
Seems safe.
And then my pick this past week for my Forge, which came in for me, I'm going to pick Lucky.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I'm going to go with somebody who finished in the top 10. I think she's going to make the jump to top 5 this year. I'm going to take Allie Smith.
There you go. Very nice.
And so those are our picks for the Music City Open. We'll go ahead and preview that a little bit. That Music City Open is in Nashville, Tennessee, 3-round event. I don't think there's going to be a ton of changes to the course this year. I could be wrong on that. Do you know?
Not that I've specifically heard of. I could be wrong, but all I know is that property is super cool, large property. What is the weather looking like? Pull up the weather right now. Last year, it rained right before the event and a little bit during the event. And honestly, I wish that we had hiking shoes last year because that would have really helped. And it definitely was sloshy, right inside. There's the hole that if you aced it, you got the guitar on. The walk from that tee pad all the way up to where the green was just an absolute mess. Crap.
I mean, it's we've got a week, but we've got a call. It's like a 50-50 shot for rain on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Put Mount Juliet.
That's a good point. I'll do that.
Or Antioch. And
my shoes are on Gomez.
Put space and then just type in TN without it's showing Antioch, Lenore City. Even though Lenore City is Antioch, Nashville. There we go.
There we go.
Showing the same thing.
Same thing. So
last year that was a tough scene. Just the property itself doesn't drain super well, and so there were certain areas because of how low it got, the water all funneled towards it. and it was just a mess trying to go across. There were areas that were meant to be player-only walking that really turned into everybody walking because they had put these grates down that you could walk over the top of.
Which, shout out to them, like the tournament directors and the staff.
Yeah.
They did everything they could to make it...
Not their fault. This is not a disc golf course. It's meant to be just a normal park that during this event specifically, they set it up.
As a great disc golf course.
Yeah.
It was super fun to watch. A lot of fun holes.
Well, I'll be very interested to see if they make any changes to some of like the ways that spectators can get between some of the very hard areas to traverse. If you go between what I believe was probably hole 4 or 5 and what hole probably like 8 is, like there was that area that was very large, and the only way you could get through is if you had one of the VIP passes to just briefly walk in with the group and cut through the fairway, but oftentimes they would not let you do that if you had a GA pass, and so you had to walk all the way around. And so there were some walks that were really tough that could have been managed better, or like you could have had somebody like allow spectators to follow a card when it was time just to get to the other side.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and hopefully they learned a little bit from last year. And of course, dealing with all the rain and wet and mud
definitely made it tough.
So we're hopeful that we see some positive improvements. We're going to be there. So
it's going to be such a good time.
We're super excited. It's going to be us two and our boy, Matt Parsons, who's behind the camera today.
What a guy.
Shout out, Matt.
He's waving right now. He can't be seen.
Oh. There's Matt.
There's Matt. So we're going to be out there this year, all 3 rounds. Last year, based on Easter weekend, we were there for round 1 and 2. And then you two headed back. I had to see some family on Sunday, and so we didn't get to be there for the final round. We'll be there all 3 rounds. As discussed in prior, and we want to talk about it now, is at the beginning of the year, All-Star Weekend, Trey and I just made a bet on team versus team. The loser had to purchase a disc chosen by the other player to give away to the first person that follows us and finds us on the course and asks us for that disc. And so I don't have it with me right now.
But we went to Pluto Sports, which if you're in the Knoxville area and you love disc golf, you've got to check out Pluto Sports. They are
awesome crew out there. Brian, the owner, is just like, he's awesome.
He's a super kind guy, and he's like so eager to help.
Yeah,
you pick out the right disc for you, and he loves to just talk disc golf.
Yeah,
so love Brian, love Pluto's. Check them out. But we were looking through, and recently the Z Flex Jawbreaker Tour Series from Discraft came out.
Yep,
and there was a sick ice Buzz.
Yeah,
Chris Dickerson Buzz, my winner for the Music City Open. And I was like, this is perfect coming from the Tennessee boys.
Yeah, so we'll post something to social media as well, just so you guys have something there. We'll try to post probably right before the event, day before, probably, just so that people know to be looking out. So if you want the disc, you got to find me. We'll be out there. I'm just excited to be out watching live disc golf, taking some videos of some players throwing. It's just a different experience to be able to be there in person.
Oh, we loved being there last year. Fly Mart was super fun. Got to talk to some players, got to talk to some of the companies that were out there.
Yeah.
We're excited to be able to have that opportunity again.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're excited to give away the Chris Dickerson Buzz. It looks really good. If you check out our socials, we'll make sure we make a post.
I'll show a picture of the disc. Past that, I think we can talk some smack on the DGN.
Yeah, so I was talking to some friends this weekend that are not in the disc golf world about the Disc Golf Network, and they kind of like, do they film it on 2 iPhones? And I was like, no, and I defended the Disc Golf Network because they have made giant improvements over the past 3 or 4 years.
Right.
The quality of content that we get, the quality of filming is generally
the pacing of shots has gotten so much better. They do a good job of showing different live shots that had gone on, but they waited to talk about or show them until they could show the crowd. Really went back and forth.
And then even on this event, they're trying to grow. They've got cameras on the players at times, like getting a live reaction to the shot kind of over in the corner, which I enjoy.
In this case, if you're watching the backside of a player putting towards the basket, they might show a reaction cam that shows their face while they make the putt so that you can see their frontal reaction as it happens. And I think that's just such a cool angle to be able to get. I think they've done a good job, throwing in drone shots where it matters, having catch cams in places that they want. I just think they get it this year for the most part.
This event in particular, I was a little discouraged, I'll say, by the amount of technical error I saw, particularly in the figures and the leaderboard.
Right.
There were several instances where the leaderboard changed prior to us seeing the actual shot.
Right. It's you've got somebody that was just 18 down, is on a chase card that they should be showing, and you see them bump up to minus 19, and they haven't shown them actually get the birdie. And so actually when they finally go and look at the shot, you actually know that Ezra is about to sink the putt.
Yeah, and that just takes away from the live experience.
Right.
I get that they can't get everything perfectly live.
Right.
That's totally fine, but we need to make sure that we're doing a better job of not. It's like a spoiler in the middle of
live
coverage, and this just doesn't make any sense.
It seems like it would be a top priority if I'm going to show 5 to 7 players on the leaderboard in the bottom right-hand side, that I would be very conscientious of, do I have a camera on this person? Does it matter for me to wait until I show them sinking a putt? The putt specifically, it's the last shot right there.
It's where they make their score.
I don't care if you miss their drive, that's not going to affect the leaderboard right there.
Right. But that was our major issue. There were also other minor issues. There was a point in time where they had Anthony Barella's score up in the top left, just him, and then the leaderboard were 2 different scores.
Right.
They hadn't updated the top bar where they updated the leaderboard. They had shots very much incorrect. They
had Gannon Burr, right after he had done this odd putt towards the basket, say that he was now on the next shot putting for eagle, meaning that he would have been putting for albatross just moments prior.
And then later on with Gannon Burr again on a 675-foot par 4, had him taking his second shot from 25 feet.
Right, which could in this theoretical world happen, but it was not happening.
It was not happening on this hole. It was
incorrect.
Impossible to do on that particular hole. And so just things like that, those are the things that make us look less professional as a sport.
Right.
And I can get past the wobbly camera angles here and there.
Right.
Every sport deals with that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to making sure our graphics are up to date and correct for what the viewer is seeing, I was disappointed.
Yeah. I definitely would like to see some of those things, tailored up a little bit, fixed. Overall, I'm happy with the Disc Golf Network. There were some gripes that I had with the transition into the pro membership this year, but hopefully that's just a one-time transition, and then they stick with the same plan, and we don't have to deal with anything else. But I feel like I've gotten my value out of it in terms of the tickets that we got. We got the pass for the weekend, which we thought it was going to be 2 tickets, but really the 2 tickets we were going to get were the same price as a 3-day pass, so it makes sense that we would just get the 3-day and not have to spend additional money.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, they probably should have only given us 2 tickets so that we would still buy a 3rd ticket.
But shout out to the DGN and Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Yeah, so we appreciate you guys. It's critical feedback. We want you guys to get better, but again, we enjoy the coverage and we're supporters, financially speaking.
Yeah, we want to see this product grow. We support you guys in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Without you guys, we wouldn't have live disc golf. So we're very thankful for that. Like he said, just some critical feedback.
Right.
But yeah,
that's that. I think that takes care of the podcast for the week. We're just excited to get out there. All 3 of us are going to load up. Trey's going to have to come back to Knoxville briefly for something in the morning on Saturday, but we will be out there for pretty much the entirety of the weekend. So
we are super excited. Can't wait to watch the disc golf action live. Next podcast, we'll do an update and tell you what it's like being on the Pro Tour.
Definitely.
Watching and being able to be there in person.
So I appreciate you for watching. If you've gotten right here, I would absolutely love it if you like the video. Specifically, if you subscribed, we've got a goal of getting to 250 subscribers by the end of the year. We want to continue posting content, and hopefully we'll be able to do non-podcast, course-type content maybe, but we want to find different outlets to posting. But if you're watching our podcast right now and like it and you're not subscribed, it would mean a ton to us for you to do that. If you went out of your way, go to our Instagram page, follow us there. Go to our TikTok page, follow us there if you're on TikTok. We just enjoy being able to make content for you guys, so we just want to keep doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have any ideas of content that you'd like for us to post, just leave us a comment. Let us know what you like to see from us. You've seen probably some of our short form reels and of us throwing. We like playing disc golf.
Yep.
But, we'll definitely be making some course content here soon.
So we appreciate you guys for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.
See ya.